Okay, boys and girls, this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. It's so simple. You go to the App Store, you download PrizePicks, you pick more or less on your favorite players in the NBA, NHL, UFC for a chance to win 100 times your money. It's available in states like Texas, California, and 30 more, plus Canada. For our listeners, if you place a $5 lineup using code TIMBO when you sign up, you get $50 instantly, no strings attached. We got the NBA playoffs going. We got the UFC going. I usually post my picks on Instagram or Snapchat. That's PrizePicks, code TIMBO. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. We had a very special episode for you today. First up, we got Ariel Helwani, the great Ariel Helwani. And then next up after that, we'll have Mario Bautista in the studio. And as always, we're here with the legend Joe Diesel Riggs. So let's get that posture up, grab ourselves a refreshment. Let's get serious here. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of it. Okay, welcome in, Ariel.
Yeah, that was incredible. I feel like I'm on like some sort of like 1970s late night radio show. You have such a great voice, such a great vibe, such a great demeanor, such great delivery. It's really it's a pleasure to see you do your thing. So thank you for having me on. Hello to you and the legend Joe Diesel Riggs, who was giving me some time back in 2008 when I was just a young buck reporter working for an outfit called MMARated.com, if you recall. May it rest in peace. So it's great to see both of you. Thank you for having me.
2008, that's the year I graduated high school.
Shut up, Tim.
What promotion were you fighting in at that
Strike
point?
Force.
Damn.
Yeah, man, I was going to like, man, if I knew in advance, I would have gone down the into the archives, but like perhaps maybe it was like a Playboy Mansion card.
It was a couple of them. There was one that sticks out to me was in San Jose when I fought this guy named Luke Stewart.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the Playboy Mansion one. It was like the after that or before that. But yeah, you're right on the money there, buddy.
Yes, and those were the Strike Force cards. Like people think of Strike Force now, they think of the Showtime Strike Force era. We're talking like the HD Net Strike Force era at the HP Pavilion. Yep. I freaking love those cards, man. I love those cards. I remember one card in particular. Sorry for going on a tangent here, but the main event was Renato Babalu Sobral against Bobby Southworth.
Right. Yeah.
And it was like an okay card, you know, local guys, whatever. And then the card's over. And then these two local kickboxers who were 1-0 in MMA and 0-1 against each other, but had a pretty great Bay Area kickboxing career. They come out for the dark match after the main event, and the place goes apeshit. And I had never heard of these guys. And I was like, this is the brilliance of Scott Coker. He knew exactly how to sell tickets for the region. He brings these two guys as the main event after the televised card, and everyone's sticking around for them. So yeah, those were great days. Kim Couture was on the card as well. I remember.
HD Net. What was the show with Boss Rutan in them?
Inside MMA with HD Net fights. It was Kenny Rice and Boss Rutan, and they would sit here, and then there would be like three guests on the side over there every week, a different combination of guests.
That was always a great show.
Yeah, I've been on the show a couple times. It was fun.
That was a good show, and they kept it entertaining. And then on HD Net, that's also where they showed the Dream fights.
And like Bodog fights, stuff like that.
The Dream tournaments.
Yeah. They were a little bit ahead of their time in that regard. They would show like a hodgepodge of promotions. These days, you can't really do that because there just aren't that many promotions, but you'll have like, they'd have Stream, they'd have Sengoku, Strike Force, and then the Bodogs, and then like they even did their own shows. I don't know if you guys remember. They did two HD Net fights cards. One of them, Tim Kennedy fought Jason Mayhem Miller on it. I was at that one. Edwin DeWeese was on it. It was in Dallas. It was in Dallas at the American Airlines Arena there. Those were good times as well, man. I love that era. I'm not trying to be the guy who's saying like MMA was so much better back in 08, 09, but I have very fond memories, maybe because that's when I started. And so
it's nostalgic for you.
I mean, it's hard to say that it wasn't a little. I mean, with those Strike Force big cards that they had, and then they had Dream, and then they had the big UFC cards. It's like, it kind of was better.
Back when the WC was kicking around then, I mean, it was everything for sure.
Yeah.
I think that was the golden era, in my opinion.
And then even IFL, the people that were able to watch the IFL, that was entertaining.
Fuck yeah, man. There was some great fights, some fucking smackers on there.
I watched a documentary recently on the IFL and how I don't know if the UFC felt like threatened by it, but then they took this weird turn to where it kind of got really cheesy. Yeah. But at first it was really cool, and I'm pretty sure they were paying the guys rent and then paying them a flat fee of $2,000 per month. Yeah. But I'm not sure what they were paying them per fight.
I remember you were close to Lindland, right? I mean,
yeah.
He never talked to you about that?
No, I never really even talked to him about it.
Ariel, do you know what they were getting paid back then?
I know it was okay. I don't think it was as good. The Elite XC guys, you fought for Elite XC, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, I think those guys were getting pretty good because they were trying to entice. IFL was trying to do it a little bit more grassroots and find some diamonds in the rough. Elite XC was trying to like make a big splash, but it was great. People don't remember IFL was in the ring. They were one of the few American promotions to have the ring, and then at the very end, they had like a 6-sided ring. They tried that out, but it didn't. By then they were pretty much done. But they had some great guys there. Chris Horodecki, remember him?
Yeah, fuck yeah, absolutely.
From Canada, Ben Rothwell obviously cut his teeth there. Militich had a bunch of guys there. I love those times. They were on Fox Sports. And it was the team stuff, and I don't really love the team stuff, if I'm being honest. Yeah, GFL tried to bring it back. But it was in an era where they were trying to stick out among all the other promotions, and they had a nice little run on Fox.
True.
Yeah, I think it was Kevin Lee said he was going to open up a lawsuit against the GFL, and I'm surprised more of these guys don't. The way they were promoting so many of these guys is big name, and they said an investor fell through. Well, I remember I signed with the World Series of Fighting when they were going to do $1 million tournament at the Caesars Palace. And the pay was just absurd, especially after the first two fights. And they had the contract, they had the tournament brackets, and it just kind of fell through and took.
You were fucking jacked, weren't you?
I was shadowboxing. Yeah, I was fucking, I was ready to rumble. But Ariel, that's a nice library you have there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I love to read and like to get my mind off of things. So, I'm not trying to show off or anything. It just, this is where my camera's pointing right now.
Yeah, it's a good background for sure.
No, it really is. And when's your time that you like to read? Is that either in the night or when you wake up?
I like evening reading. Try to read in bed as opposed to being on the phone. That would be ideal. I think we're all sort of inclined. I'm really trying to work hard on the phone stuff. I was inspired by Sean, and I'm not joking. It is true. And even yesterday, I was talking to Cory Sandhagen about the phone, and he was telling me how he started to feel anxious for no reason. And he's like, I need to stop. So his rule is he goes on once a day for 10, 15 minutes, does what he needs to do, and then he goes off. And it's a little bit sad that we have to put these limitations on us, but it clearly affects my current battle right now at home. I think you have kids, right, Joe? You have some kids?
Yes, I have 2 kids, yeah.
My current battle is I have a 13-year-old boy, and I'm refusing to give him a phone.
Oh, brother.
And I'm telling him, I'm doing this out of love. I'm doing this because I don't want you to be addicted, but all his friends have the phone. But this is something that we're currently fighting. It's hard, It's a tough fight, time.
Man. I have a 17-year-old son, and I gave my kids phones way too early, and same thing. I just want to give my kids everything I didn't have, but it's the stuff that we sacrifice and do for them that they'll notice when they get older. That's definitely going to help him for sure.
And I mean, guys, especially when you get kind of like micro famous, I would call it, the amount of hate and the amount of people's inputs that they have. Do you read some of it? I mean, you got to read the comments once in a while, and do you see them just talking?
I'm at fault. Yeah, for sure. I wish I didn't read it, but it's a weird thing, especially because I'm on almost every day now. It almost becomes like every day, every video, every post becomes this like referendum on the state of your career. And it's absurd, right? It's like you pump up so much stuff like, oh, you're great or you suck. And then you're like happy that people like you, and then you're upset. And I wish I could sit here and be like, I don't read it, screw that, I'm comfortable. But we're human. It's like I said, the same phone that I used to call my mom is the same phone that's feeding me this stuff and this device. It's not like it's like some tucked away place that you could choose to ignore. It's right there. Oh, yeah. But I'm trying my best, and I've been successful. Like if we're on vacation, I'll say I'm not looking at it today, and it's worked. And you feel a difference, and you're like, wow, you don't really need to partake in this. Now, I will also sit here and say social media and the internet have been incredibly valuable to my career. Like if I didn't have it, I don't know if I'd be wherever the hell I am right now. So I'm not trying to shun it, but we all are addicted to it. Phone, affirmation comments, whatever. And so I'm trying my best, but also I'm in a period right now where I'm sort of like redefining my career. And so you want to know what's working and what's not. And so then you get kind of, you get sucked in at times, unfortunately.
And it's the worst too when you're like, okay, I'm going to read some comments on this. You check out some comments and then it's like these hateful, mean comments. You're like, well, I'm going to check out this person, see what kind of guy this has. And then it's a fake profile.
Absolutely.
And I put it into ChatGPT. I said, what type of person has a fake X account where they talk shit on people that are actually doing things with their lives? He said, insecure or unfulfilled people. They're projecting their own lack of purpose, success, or confidence onto others who are out there making moves. Jealous or resentful people. Seeing someone thrive makes them bitter because it reminds them of what they're not doing. Cowardly. They hide behind anonymity because they don't have the courage to say it with their chest. Attention seeking. They want to feel powerful by getting reactions from people doing more than them. It's the only way they feel noticed. At the end of the day, they're background noise. People like that are stuck in comments while others are busy building legacies, and you'll never see people doing better than you talking that way. I'm like, damn.
Yo, you nailed it.
Yeah. I just figured I'm going to put it in ChatGPT, see what they say. And that's what it is. I mean, I can't even imagine making a fake profile and going just dogging on people. I just can't even imagine being that type of person.
Those comments fucking hurt your soul.
Well, that's the thing. Even the good ones, you can't even take in the good ones. Like, you might as well just look at them from the outside. Don't take in the good ones and don't take in the bad ones. Just like,
yeah. For sure.
And I think at a certain level, it's like, man, just posting and ghosting is the way to go.
Because you said fucking these motherfuckers will just find your fucking biggest insecurity and just pick the tits off it.
Any insecurity you have, the internet will call it out.
Fuck yeah, I couldn't even bear to watch that. Fuck, I couldn't read a damn thing about that.
God, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
That was great, by the way. Great job by ChatGPT. I'm ashamed to admit, I sort of enjoy it. I thought I'd be one of those guys who didn't like ChatGPT, but it's pretty bang on.
What do you like about it?
This is another example. What's that?
What do you like about it? What do you use it the most for?
Well, it's kind of weird. Like, okay, so I was playing around with it recently. We were planning a summer vacation. And so I was like, okay, we're thinking, I have 3 kids who are this age, and we like this, we like that. And like, the thing gave us a whole freaking breakdown. And they're so sweet about it, because then they're like, did you like that? Do you want some more on X, Y, and Z? And I said, why, yes. Tell me more about this place. And then it starts telling you, and then it starts giving you hotels, and then it starts giving you reviews on the hotels. And now all of a sudden it's like, you're like talking to a travel agent.
Yep.
It's an amazing, I don't know how accurate it all is, but it seemed pretty damn accurate. And it was all happening within like a snap of a finger. So I don't know how it works.
Thinking about like what we'd have to do before, you'd have to go to Google it. And then there's 5 sponsored websites where the people pay to be at the top. And then you have to, okay, who wrote this one? And then we'll compare it to this one. This one, the ChatGPT in seconds takes them all and picks out the right ones. I use it at least 4 to 5 times a day, at least.
Oh, wow.
At least. What? I mean, just because I run my gym and I run my coffee shop, and sometimes I do summer camps, and then I'm doing a summer camp, so that'll help me write down just everything I need for that. It'll make a flyer for it. I'm thinking about doing $1,000 little 8-man grappling tournament in the cage here in August, and it'll give me a rundown on exactly. It'll write the forms that you have to sign and make sure you're covered all over. It just literally does everything.
Attorneys are obsolete now.
What's that?
You don't have to get an attorney to write up a contract anymore.
No, you don't.
That's really fucking attorneys out of this shit, huh?
Dude, it's fucking like guys who do photography or like Fiverr, when you go there to make a flyer or have a flyer done, it's putting all those guys out of business. A lot of stuff. Okay, boys and girls, this episode is brought to you by SPADE. A SPADE is 0 sugar, 0 calories. It's all natural. There's 6 good flavors: cola, yuzu lime, guava, blueberry acai, kiwi strawberry, Dr. Spade, sweetened with the most premium form of stevia on the market today. There's no bitter aftertaste. It's caffeine free, dye-free, which is a good one, added electrolytes for a hydration benefit. It's just as healthy as a sparkling water and just as flavorful as a traditional soda. And for our listeners, there's an Amazon link in the description, and you can use Timbo Spade 10 for a clean 10% off. Grab yourself a refreshment. All right, let's get into some UFC news here. The bantamweight landscape. Let's talk about that a little bit. And it's Sugar's still number one. I mean, we lost to Merab twice. Suge's still number one. Peter Yan takes on Marcus McGee in July, which could really mix things up. Cory Sandhagen, he's saying he wants Merab, I think in December-ish, around December. So some really crazy things are going on. Do you see anybody, I did watch your interview with Cory, and I do think he probably has a chance because he is the most well-rounded guy probably in the division. The kid can wrestle. The kid's great at jiu-jitsu. He's great at striking. He's got a high fight IQ. I don't know how he's going to deal with Merab and Merab's pace. But what do you think, Ariel?
So I think he has a chance. I think the world of him. I could see him hanging in there because, as you said, the wrestling, the striking, the knees. I mean, he is well-rounded. We have also seen Cory at times, for lack of a better word, falter on the big stage, have some performances that really left you shaking your head. But it seems like he is so motivated and very analytical. What a great mind he has when talking about the fights, when breaking them down, when explaining what makes Merab so good and what he could do. I'd love to get your thoughts on some of the things that he said about Sean. But I think of the contenders right now available to Merab, I think he's the most interesting one because we haven't seen them fight. We saw the Yan fight; it was very one-sided, and not to suggest that it would be one-sided again, but it's hard to sell that when it's 5 rounds of dominance. He's the most interesting one, and I think he gives him the toughest test so far. The question is, how is he going to beat him? Is he going to keep the fight standing? Can he keep the fight standing? I would suggest that would probably be his best route to a victory. And then once he keeps it standing, is he able to expose some holes there? I'm curious to see. I'm into the fight. I like the fight very much. I'm a big fan of Sandhagen's. I said back in 2020 that I thought he'd be a future champion. He just gave me that sort of vibe. I don't know if it happens when fighting Merab because Merab is that damn good, but I'm really into the fight, and I'm happy that it seems like they're going in this route as opposed to some other routes. Because the Umar fight was fine, and Umar did beat Cory, but I just didn't feel like he did enough to earn it. I like when a guy has to scratch and claw his way and really earn that thing, and I think that Cory has most definitely earned it.
Yeah, I'm so curious too, what his game plan would be, because our game plan was a little bit more to back Merab up, but he's a hard guy to back up. And his shots, it's like Sean has some of the best reaction time. If someone slips up, makes a mistake, he can make you pay really good. But Merab is just so good at hiding those shots. He doesn't shoot from so far away. He doesn't care how many times he shoots. He's an expert in getting in positions to where he's going to wear you out. He doesn't even think about gassing out.
Fuck no.
And he might be the only fighter ever that just doesn't think about gassing out in a 25-minute fight.
That's a superpower, man.
It is. It really is. Yeah, so
he's relentless. He has a relentless pace, and he's so strong. But we've seen Cory pull some things out of nowhere, right? Like some incredible flying knees and all that stuff. He is dangerous. So I'm curious as well. Is he going to push the pace? Is he going to try to get Merab to retreat, to fight on the back foot? Merab only really knows one speed, if you will. You guys know better than anyone. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of war of attrition is going to be super interesting. And I'm curious to see if Cory can stop the takedowns, because they're coming. They're going to be coming from all angles. They're going to be coming no matter if he gets stuffed 3 times in a row, he's coming for the 4th shortly thereafter. So I think it's a great fight. Merab, he is finally getting the respect that he deserves. Some guys, it takes them a little longer to get there. The fact that he's at 13 wins in a row and just 2 title defenses is kind of insane, but it just speaks to, the long road that he had to take to get to here. And we talk about, Anderson Silva's record and Demetrius Johnson's record, title defenses, wins in a row and all that stuff. I don't know if he could get to the title defenses because it took him a while, but certainly to get to 16 straight, it's right within reach. And you've got Islam out there fighting a big boy in JDM. He's got 15 in a row. It's going to be interesting to see if Merab could get there as well.
Yeah, and even it doesn't affect Merab mentally at all. Look at Sugar in the 2nd round, how well he did, jacking Merab up, limp legging out. He defended multiple shots. I don't think he got taken down in the 2nd round.
Didn't deter him at all. He kept coming.
And he just kept coming. Again, him shooting on Peter Yan, 50 times?
Is that what it was?
In one fight?
Ariel, like in my career, and Tim feels the same way, when I would work real hard for a takedown and not get it, or a guy would get right back up, it would fucking feel defeating. I mean, and I don't understand how a guy like Merab just, doesn't matter how he missed a shot or how close he was to getting it, that motherfucker does not stop. He comes again and again.
He's a little bit, I mean, I know this is a cliche, but I feel like with Merab, it's apropos. He is built different in the sense that this dude does some crazy shit, like the jumping into the ice water with head first and gets all scratched up, and he thinks it's all funny. Like he goes and gets his head stapled. Like he's just different. And so like the idea of being deterred or feeling down, or like, I just don't think he's made up like that. I don't think he gets in his head, and what a superpower that is as well, right? Sure. I don't think he gets down on himself. So he's also, I know you guys have your issues, but I find him to be a pleasant, jovial guy, and it just doesn't seem like, and maybe it's from like where he grew up and the stuff that he's seen. He's been through a lot, and his country has been through a lot, but it just doesn't seem like, oh, a bad 2-minute stretch or some bad shots that were stuffed will get him off his game. Yeah,
exactly. And we don't have any bad blood. I mean,
I know it's all part of he doesn't strike me as that kind of guy to hold on to the grudge.
Yeah.
It's competition. And I honestly, I have to say, like, I was so impressed with Sean in the immediate aftermath. Like the fact that he stuck around to do that interview just to thank everyone for coming. The fact that he came on my show this week, some guys after a fight like that, like they'll disappear. They won't do anything. As I told him, and I might've told you as well, like I was so impressed with his demeanor in your podcast together. Like, and part of that probably comes from the fact that he has a good life, a great life, and he has a lot of things to be happy about and be proud of. But I know he wanted to get that belt back and made a lot of sacrifices, but the way in which he handled it, I won't say to who, but I sent the interview that we did to another fighter, and I said, like, this is the blueprint. And if you could do it well and be authentic about it, like, this is how you handle a loss. This is how you act. This is how you answer questions. So, I'm sure you're proud of him as well, but like it's not easy to do that. And I think he's done it very well in this particular instance.
Yeah, for sure. And even Merab too, like you see him, the way he treats his teammates and the guys that come and live with him, you can tell he's a good dude. He's not a complete douche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone loves him. I remember Ally Quinta telling me, like, no joke, 2018, this is the guy. Like, you need to start talking about this guy. You need to start interviewing this guy. And you hear that a lot from teammates and coaches. But every time he's like, I'm telling you, Merab's going to be the guy. What's this?
This is an iced latte. What flavor is this, Haley? This is a mocha iced latte, fresh beans, freshly roasted beans, some organic milk, and the great barista Haley whipped it up for us. Right?
Red takes his coffee serious.
Yes.
I'm so jealous. I told Sean it's on the bucket list. I need to come visit and have a cup of coffee. It's the way you speak of your coffee with such passion and love.
That would be awesome if you came to visit. That'd be awesome.
Where do you live at?
Where do I live? I live in New York.
You live in New York? Let me ask you, of all the fighters you've interviewed, do you have who just sticks in your craw? Who don't you like the most?
Come on. I'm a lover, Joe. I don't like to talk bad. Look, I'll say this. Anyone who gives me time, like I had an interview recently with Derek Lewis, and it didn't go great. Like I've interviewed Derek a gazillion times, and I'd like to think we have a good relationship, but like something was off. It didn't go great, and there were some comments, and people were asking me if I was upset and if I was annoyed, and I was like, man, he gave me 20, 30 minutes. I'm not mad about it. Like, ultimately, it's on me to make the interview good. So, obviously, there are some people who don't talk to me, and that's fine. I don't lose sleep over it. But doing this for as long as I've been doing it, and people like to highlight like the couple beefs, the thousands of fighters that have been on my show at this point, dating back to 2009, and I really started this in 2007. There's been a lot, and the vast majority of them, I still have a great relationship. Like, it's awesome that I could see you and talk to you for the first time in years, and you're like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Not be like, F that guy. I hated that guy, and I'd like to think that's the case.
You're a great guy, for sure.
With most people. So there are certainly some guys who are tougher to get stuff out of than others, but none that I would call a nuisance. Like I remember talking to someone being like, oh man, Rory McDonald, like he's so hard to interview. He doesn't give you anything. And I would say, I actually love talking to Rory because I love the challenge of trying to get him to open up. So you can't talk to everyone the same way. Some guys just don't want to talk about fighting, and that's cool. Or some guys don't want to answer specific questions about an opponent, and that's cool. Like I love that. Cory's a great example of that. When you start to talk to Cory about non-fighting things, like he's a fascinating, very funny guy, and I really enjoy that as well. So I enjoy the challenge of all the different personalities and getting a chance to talk to them and getting them to open up and getting people to see a different side of them. Like I've been on this high over the last few days about Malcolm Wellmaker. Are you guys familiar with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a beautiful young man. This guy is so easy to root for, has such an amazing backstory, and you're just watching him right now start to live his dreams. It's such a pleasure. Give me that all day. If I could do that, if I could interview people like him till the rest of my days, I'm a happy man. So I really do have way more good experiences than bad experiences.
So you're saying a pod with you or a show with you and Guru will never happen?
I love the fact that you always bring this up. Here's the truth. I have a lot, like people say to me like, oh, you're the establishment. I'm not the establishment, man. I literally started on a computer, going on the internet, sending messages to people on MySpace, begging them to come on, getting cameramen in from local areas to come do interviews. I'm in Stockton, California for Elite XC, interviewing Nick Diaz with a guy that I just met, a cameraman. Like there's nothing establishment about me. It's just that I've been around a little bit longer. I've had a lot of trials and tribulations. So I respect anyone who grinds. I respect anyone who says like, F everyone else, I'm going to make a name for myself. So I have a lot of respect. You can even ask the guys who work with me and what we talk about in the control room before the show or while we're eating lunch. Like I have respect for people who grind, and he is a grinder. So there's no real beef here. If anything, like the part that was weird to me was, what's your beef with me? Like, what did I ever do to you? You know what I mean? And I don't know if that comes from a good place, a bad place, but like the way I found out about him was he was talking so much shit about me. And so it's like, all right, if that's the way you want to make a name for yourself, great. But, you know, he doesn't need me. He doesn't need me to be his foil or to be his enemy to have success, clearly. So all to say, like, I'm not trying to do a show with anyone at this point, but I don't have, the beef was one-sided, and it wasn't on my end.
Mm-hmm. So
do you agree or disagree, Timbo?
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys, like even Guru, he'll have some crazy takes, but then you talk to the guy and you genuinely think, like, I genuinely think he's a good guy. Like he wants to spoil his parents, take care of his parents. I do think he's a good guy. And you never know, like sometimes when these guys say stuff, when they're streaming so much and they're sometimes, especially with him when he's doing cards, he's got to stay up this late hour. So he could be on edge and says something he doesn't really mean. So I think you guys would probably be fine.
We also do different things, occupy different lanes, and that's good. Like I'm happy that there are new voices. I'm happy, like it shouldn't just be me. It shouldn't just be 2 or 3 people. People also try to ask me about like Nina Drama and get me to talk shit about her. Like, great, go for it. Like what? I'm not trying to monopolize MMA media, if you want to call it that. So, and this is like 1000% genuine. As long as I could do my thing and live my dream and support myself and my family and my friends and give people jobs and all that stuff, I never try to start beefs with people. I have responded. I have done my thing when I felt like people were wronging me or lying about me and things like that. But when it comes to Guru or anyone else trying to make a name for themselves, like the only thing I would say is like, keep doing your thing. Like, I don't really understand what I did to make you have so much vitriol about me, but you know. Yeah.
Well, because when we were in New York, we stopped by the Facebook Meta office.
Oh yeah.
That's right by you, right?
It's literally next door. Yeah.
That's cool.
When did you come?
Right when we landed, right when we landed off the jet, we went straight there and got a.
You were next door to my studio.
I know. I don't think we knew we were going to go there, but that place was crazy. Yeah. You been in there?
Oh yeah. I did a thing with Randy Brown. He has like that tiny office where he interviews people in the Meta office for threads and all this stuff. It's super impressive. The whole building is Meta. And and it's like the security and all that, like all the stuff you have to go through just to get into the building is wild. So yeah, very, very impressive. But my building and the Meta building, do you know a guy named Matt Lee? Was he the one that was showing you around?
It might have been. I don't really remember.
Great guy, and he's a huge MMA fan, and he's a pretty big shot over there. So he took me around, and yeah, I loved it. It was I love seeing all that stuff, and that's part of the reason why I still live in New York, because of all the opportunities and all the media stuff that's here.
So that's a prime location you got there. Is your rent just absurd in that joint?
Yo, you could have come. You could have hung out. We got pretty good coffee too.
No, I believe it. I would have came. But do you ever stress about that? Like, holy shit,
no,
this place is
I don't, because I don't pay the rent. So my current situation is that I have my show. I own it. I license it to Yahoo. And so they do all that stuff. So they give me a fee, and I pay myself. I pay my whole crew, other expenses. But in terms of the studio, the space, that's theirs within their studio. They have another whole operation for their finance show. So they built us a studio there. So it's a 3-year deal. We're approaching the end of year 1. And that's all the stuff that happened, like when I left the MMA Hour and all that.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. So if there was someone like a young buck wanting to come up, do journalism like you, would you recommend they go to college?
You don't have to go to college, but it definitely gave me a great foundation. It definitely gave me, I learned a lot of things. I learned, right things to do, wrong things to do, things like that. And no one's perfect, so you'll still make mistakes. It can't hurt. My answer is it can't hurt, but it's not a necessity. It will not hurt. It will only make you better, and you'll get great journalism, whether you're talking, whether you're filming, whether you're editing, whether you're writing. It's all about reps. It's all about the amount of times you do something. Who's that? Is that Mario Bautista?
That is. The great Mario Bautista is in the house.
A crazy thing happened with Mario, I feel like, recently. Not to hijack this. I don't know if he can
let's let it rip. Now he can.
Yo, Mario, what's up?
What's up, Ariel? How you doing?
It's good to see you again. I noticed a really crazy thing, and I wonder if he noticed it as well. The best thing to happen to Mario Bautista, other than a win over Patchy Mix, was not getting that post-fight interview.
Why do you think?
I feel like now I noticed it after we spoke, after he came on the show, like everyone has turned now on his side. Everyone feels like he's been wronged by the man. And everyone's like, I saw a bunch of people being like, I'm sorry, man. I was wrong. All my boys love Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista's, he's welcome to the cookout. I saw like a bunch of hilarious messages, and everyone was pissed that he didn't get the post-fight. In the end, I actually think it was a blessing, because you would have gotten the post-fight interview, you would have said a few things, couple questions, but now people think that like the man was holding you down, and people love getting behind that type of, that type of situation. So I don't know if you agree with me, but that was the sense that I got.
Yeah, no, definitely. It just brought more attention to that fight. They're wondering why, and then just running behind that whole Aldo fight as well. Like, it just brings more attention to me, whether it's good or bad, like people are watching and stuff and wondering. So it's all good.
Yeah, but to me, people viewed you as like a sympathetic figure. Like they felt mad on your behalf. And when the public like feels that way, I feel, and I know you don't do that you don't do any of this necessarily for that. Like you do your thing, but it was just like the reaction post Aldo compared to post Patchy couldn't have been more different. And I'm happy, because I didn't think it was fair that people were saying that about you post Aldo.
It is what it is, I guess. Did a little, had a great performance out there too. So kind of had like a little changeover too. So
you did.
I don't know. I think definitely next time we're getting that interview.
I would think so.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got a couple more questions for you, Ariel, and I'll let you go. You ever regret reporting a story that blew up bigger than you thought, and you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have brought that up?
No. Obviously, like the most famous one is the Brock Lesnar one. Don't regret it. And I would only regret it if it was wrong. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if I got it wrong, then I'd be like, shit, I screwed up. But that hasn't happened. And I would also potentially regret it if I like hurt someone, if I hurt their life, if I hurt their family, if I put them in a tough spot. And I don't think I've ever done that. I try not to report you know, like I try not to make it personal, right? So like I'm not trying to hurt anyone. And the vast majority that I'm doing is sort of like surface level sports stuff, not so much personal stuff. But it's never been something where I felt like I was, you know, obviously there are certain things that you wish you could do differently. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but never where I was like, shit, I really screwed up. At least not on the top of my head. Like as I've gotten older and I've had to express more opinion, there's definitely been situations where I found out people were mad at me. Like I remember Donald Cerrone was mad at me after he called out Conor McGregor, and he sort of did it in like this very like nice way, like, hey, Conor, give me a shot. And I said on my show with Chael, like, that's not the way to get a Conor fight. Like you got to go out there and like pick a fight with him. Mm-hmm. And he was really mad at me for that and let me know it. And so the next time I saw him at a media day, like I went straight up to him and tried to squash the beef, so to speak. So if I ever find out that it happened with Ben Askren as well, it happened with a bunch of people, Tito Ortiz, where if I hear that someone is upset, I'll just try to privately fix it without it blowing up into a bigger thing.
That's a good answer. So if you were a fighter, what would your walkout song be? That's
a great question.
I know you've thought about it.
Yeah, there's always been two that have come to mind. One, Hit 'Em Up by Tupac, or Triumph by Wu-Tang. Those are my two. Those are the ones I used to listen to when I was a big basketball player when I was in high school, and so those are the ones that I would listen to before games to pump myself up. Nice. I bomb atomically, Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can be perfect that we dropping these mockeries, lyrically performed on robberies. Like I thought I was way cooler than I really was.
Yeah. So let's say Dana retires tomorrow. You're in charge. What's the first couple things you'd change?
I get rid of the uniform deal. You guys can wear whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I don't need that money. Clearly we're doing just fine.
But with the uniforms though, it's like, gosh, okay, 70 million. What was it? A 4-year deal or a five-year deal? $70 million. And now on ESPN, now when they show it on big shows, it does look a little bit more professional compared to the NFL, NBA. You don't think it looks any more professional?
I think it does, but it doesn't. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, man. I think I would much rather have obviously the sponsors.
Yeah, I mean for sure. Yeah. For the fighters, yes.
The sponsors, the banners, all that stuff, like it differentiated the guys. Chuck Liddell with the Iceman shorts, Tito Ortiz with the freaking fire on his shorts, GSP coming out with the gi, like call me a sucker, but like that stuff, I remember that stuff. That's what draws you. Mike Tyson coming out with the towel, the black shorts, that's a part.
What about
of who
Chemo with the cross?
Yeah, fuck yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I love that shit. Like I love that. I love all the different elements of the fight game, from the posters to the walkout songs to the gear, and the fact that they've stripped that all away. And remember, when they stripped it away, they said, we don't want this to turn into NASCAR. Meanwhile, you look at the cage now, there's never been more ads on the cage, on the mat, on the post. There's never been more ads. And so they just took those ads off the gear and put them on the thing. And I want the fighters to get paid as much as they can. This is their chance. You get 10, 15 fights, 20 fights in the UFC, maximize it. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. I would do that. And again, I'm thinking more like a fan. I kind of wish there was like 35 fights or 30 cards. I think the cards would be better. We would never go back to the Apex. The Apex is a great thing, but it would just be for Contender Series and tough. UFC fights should not be at the Apex. Like high-level UFC fights should not be at the Apex. And they're starting to move away from it, but I feel like my soul dies when I watch that, and it's not very fun. So those are a few things that come to mind.
Yeah,
and of course, like, I would go up there and I would like freaking sell some fights. I would tell everyone why you need to spend your Saturday, your hard-earned money to watch this fight. How often do we get that? When's the last time we got a good old-fashioned promo from DW? Mm-hmm. This is it. This is the best right here. Kamaru Usman, former champion, coming back. Hasn't fought in 2 years, hasn't won in 4 years, going up against the young upstart Joaquin Buckley. Like, when's the last time we got that?
Yeah.
Tell me, when?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too. Not for a minute.
Khalil Roundtree, freaking killer, went toe-to-toe with Alex Pereira, took him to the brink, flying all the way to Baku, Azerbaijan to fight Jamal Hill, who's lost his last two, looking to get back on track. Like, when's the last time we got an old school promo?
Yeah, not for a minute. I think you're right. Well, do you do much investment? Do you buy any Bitcoin?
I don't do the Bitcoin thing, not because I'm against it, but just because like I don't think I'm smart enough to wrap my head around it. I do have someone that helps me with investments. And so I just kind of leave it at that. My brother is super, we couldn't be more different. So he's like super into this stuff. And I just like to talk about sports and fighting and things
So
like
he
that.
helps you out with stocks or real estate?
He will, stocks. He will say, oh yeah, you should do this. Or you should talk to this guy, and, you know, financial planner and all this, life insurance, retirement, kids, college funds, all this. It's all very heavy duty stuff, but I'm getting it. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, Ariel, hey, thanks so much for popping on, making the time, brother. And I look forward to when you get to visit AZ.
I would love to be there. Joe, it was lovely to see you again. Mario, you're the man. Congratulations again. Loved the chat a couple weeks ago. And Tim, you're the freaking man. That voice that you did at the beginning of the intro, more of that, man. Whatever. Like, can I just get you talking about anything but fighting in that voice?
Yes.
On like a Saturday at midnight, just like you talking about the tunes, Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix, something like that.
No problem, brother. All right, Ariel. We'll talk to you next time.
Peace out.
Okay, boys and girls, we got one of my longtime friends and someone who who I got to watch just grow up and turn into an absolute machine, Mario Bautista. He's 31 years old now, 16 wins and 2 losses, and boy, are fat win streak. Jay Perrin, Brian Keller, Benito Lopez, Guido Canetti, Damon Blackshear, Ricky Simone, Jose Aldo, Patchy Mix, and now boosted up into, I think, number 9, right, Mario?
Yeah.
Boosts up to number 9. And I always think you're such a great example, because all these fighters are coming in here and they expect just to be able to train like a professional athlete, to be able to train. You, for the longest time, for most of the years I knew you, so Mario had a job working for Safe Like Glass, right? For years.
Yeah.
For years. So what would your schedule be like? You'd wake up. Most pro fighters get a train in the morning, go home, rest, recover, and then they get a train in the night. What was your schedule like for a lot of the years?
Yeah, well, the first 2 years I worked there, it was getting up at 6, being there by 7, loading up the truck, starting my first job at 8, and then just working all day until probably like 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you didn't have a certain time you get off. You're done when you have your last job done. Mm-hmm. So I was doing that for the first 2 years, then going to practice right after. And then I finally talked them into, giving me part-time, just luckily they were pretty cool about it. So I was able to get off at 2 and then make it to a pro practice. And I did that, I think, for another 2 or 3 years.
So then you'd go pro practice and then stay for another jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah.
For lifting.
Lifting, jiu-jitsu class, just to make up like a technique class, because those pro practices, it's not really, you learn some technique, but it's mainly sparring or you're wrestling, So I was always just trying to make it up at the end of the night.
Because sometimes you see guys too, it's like they're coming in there. I mean, so they're half-assed in practice. They're making their girl work 2 jobs so they can come in. Yeah, just being fucking bums. That's why I had good advice from Robert Falls back in the day. Like, always have a part-time job. Even when you're a professional, you're making checks, because as soon as you start fighting for money, you're going to take the wrong fights and your career is going to go south. So having a part-time job where you can work and still make practice is the way to do it. And you're just a perfect example of it. You worked all those years and grinded on your off time, and look how far you've come. It's fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah. If you could pick another job though, part-time job, I would pick a different one. I'd be outside right now. It's 110 right now. Mm-hmm. I'd be working out in the parking lot, changing out a windshield.
It's 116 today.
Just cooking.
It's
just
a hot
cooking,
one.
bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys could like DoorDash, make a little bit of money here and there, and then able to make it to practice, I think that's like the best route to go.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to talk about too is just like how blessed like we all are just to be in the same room as Benson for the longest time. The amount of shit I've learned from that guy, and he doesn't even really talk, just his work ethic. He still has the hardest work ethic I've ever seen in my life, like a true freak of nature, but mentally and physically. How much has like Benson impacted you?
Oh, a lot, man. Like you said, just not only seeing him in the room, he's still like that till his day, dude. He's one of the hardest workers. He's like the last guy to be done with sparring. Mm-hmm. So he's just helped me out so much, just as an idol. And then even like helping me out with my rent. He paid for like 6 months of my rent before. So just helped me out like that here and there. And yeah, still to this day, get to see him every day and see how hard he works. And
just a great fucking dude.
Yeah, I mean, the absolute fucking just legend.
Yeah.
Legend. Just being able to be in the room with that guy and seeing the pace he puts on, and just, it's pretty badass. Pretty fucking badass. So how have you dealt with, I mean, like, if any of you guys fucking knew Mario, we've talked about it multiple times, you guys would love the kid. He'd be the nicest kid you know. You could be friends with him. You could hang out with him. So how have you dealt with all the hate after that Jose Aldo fight? When I see it, I was like, oh my God.
Wait, you got a lot of hate?
From the first time, were you like, holy fuck, I did not expect this?
Dude, yeah, like it started to build up, and then like 2 or 3 weeks, like you expect it to go back down, because fans forget pretty quick.
They do, don't they?
They did not forget this, bro. It would go on for months and months, just like messages here and there.
That bother you?
No, I got used to it. It was just whatever, But
like, a little bit at first. I had to.
Yeah, like once I didn't see that it was going down, so you just got to like deal with it and then, make a positive out of it. So beforehand, like, I really wasn't like out there too much. People didn't know me.
Yeah.
And so after that fight, just, any publicity is like, a good one. So I got a bunch of attention from it, and yeah, that's all it was. And I know these guys, like, they're not.
You think about who it's coming from,
dude,
for a second.
Yeah, they're just like all on their computers. Like, and if you see them in real life, which we had a little thing at Fight Week, some fan.
What?
I almost got him jumped.
What do you mean? I didn't hear about this.
You almost got jumped or got them jumped?
I almost got one jumped because I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think it was a Suga fan, to be honest. But after the press conference, we're sitting there waiting to do our face-offs, and I hear Mario in the crowd. And I look up, and there's a kid wearing a jersey, number 11. I'll always remember him. And he's just giving me the double birds, and then grabbing his junk. And I was like, you know what? And then we were leaving the fighters get on the shuttle and take off, right? And I'm waiting there because Yachty said we have a faster ride. So I'm waiting in the back. There's UFC staff back there. And then I see that kid, and he's down, with the big crowd, and he's doing the same thing. And there was these other kids that were asking for my autograph, Mario, please. And I was like kind of pushing them off because I didn't know if they were like real fans or not.
Yeah.
And I was like, I seen that kid, and I was like, just saying some 90s,
hood rat shit.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? If you guys are my effing fans, go fuck them up right now.
Oh, shit.
Dude, they're like, hell yeah. And they like ran over there, and I was like, oh no. Like they were
gonna
down
beat his
inside
face
of the riot.
I was like, hold on. And so I signed their stuff, and then that kid got so scared. Everyone that was around him just kind of backed away from him. And I was pointing, I'm like, when I leave, you guys F him up. Number 11, right there. Dude, just stone face, just quiet. And I was like, yeah, you're scared now, huh?
That's fucking funny.
So I know how they are in real life, so it didn't really bother me.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. You just think about who it's coming from.
They're all
like,
cowards, man. Every last one of them. They're all jerking off down in their parents' basement.
Oh God, it's hard not to just get fired up. I catch myself sometimes typing out shit. I'm like, don't even reply. Don't even fucking respond. Dude.
I've slapped the shit out of people for that shit. I mean, sometimes you just got to, Mario.
I mean, if you can get a hold of them.
Yeah, I mean, you got everybody around there. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah. So Mario was booked to fight Chito, who was number 7. 10 days out, they call you up, say Chito's hurt, and then they say, we got to fight for you. Patchy mix. Fucking 20 wins, 1 loss. And did you even hesitate, or were you just like, fuck it?
Oh, no. I said, no, let's fucking do it, because I hadn't fought since October. And if I argue like with the UFC or whatever,
it's never good.
Yeah, it's not good. And I wasn't even going to do that anyway. Like, I want to fight, And once they told me it was Patchy, I was like, dude, it just like reignited me. Like mid-camp, like, oh shit, okay, like this guy's for real. It's not like an easy fight, or someone outside the top 15 that doesn't really excite me. It was a big fight. So yeah, it got me excited again.
And that close to the fight too. It's like Chito, he's orthodox, Muay Thai guy, kind of stands there. All of a sudden, it's a southpaw, a big-ass southpaw who's 100% going to try to grapple you. Was that a concern? I mean, you're one of the most well-rounded guys I know, too.
Yeah. No, we just had to make some few changes, like from offensive wrestling to defensive wrestling, And then as far as like their striking, they're very similar, kind of flat-footed, they kind of stay there. They're both kind of the same, so that wasn't too much of a big difference. But you definitely don't want to let Patchy get a hold of you, and you don't want to mess around there. So.
and having Ezra in the room, Ezra Elliott, you guys all know him. He's going to be a huge name eventually, but having him, I even think he's a better grappler than Patchy, and I think he mixes his shots in better. So I'm like, dude, this isn't, Mario's felt guys as good, if not better.
Absolutely.
On the daily.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're so lucky to have Ezra, dude. So once we seen that I was fighting Patchy, I was like, I got the perfect guy right here, you know, and I've been working with him, and I was saying the same thing. I think he's actually better, especially in the wrestling department. You know, they both got good back takes and good chokes and front headlocks, but Ezra's definitely a better wrestler.
And before this fight, I mean, no one talked about it, but shit, 10 days before the fight, Ezra's on your back and you pop a rib out.
Yep.
Popped a rib, and what kind of demons were you battling after that?
Dude, as soon as it happened, I'm giving it my all. You know, it's my last round, last minute of it, you know. And Ezra's on my back, and I'm trying to shake him off. And, like, I just feel it pop out. Never felt anything like that. As soon as we went back down, popped back in, and, like, just all the thoughts just running. Like, man, Chito just got hurt. You know, he hurt his ribs. And this one of the biggest fights I have, you know, only 2 more weeks left. You know, everything just running through my mind, like, damn, like, why did I let that happen? Why didn't I just, like, you know, roll over and fight from this position? So just had to fight through that. Next day I felt better, but literally every morning leading up to the fight, I was waking up, holding my side, rolling, having to get up a certain way, and then thinking, like, damn, I have to go fight. And I
hand cut.
And this is how I get out of bed. So every morning I was just dealing with it, but then by the end of the day, it's just, you just got to, like, you know, be positive and just fight those thoughts, and you know, that's all I could do, really. Just
fucking have a counter for those thoughts right away. So after that, you just went stuck with kind of hitting mitts. You were able to hit mitts still? Yeah,
that's all I could do. And then for those first few days after, because I couldn't stop training, you know, and I'm not really like, I don't really like taking breaks, especially that close to the fight. Every time we'd hit mitts and, like, throw a hook or something, it would pop out again. Each time, dude. So it was just so hard. And then finally made it to fight week. Just hit some paddles.
You feeling the fight?
No, I didn't feel it in the fight.
Didn't feel it in the fight. That's fucking beautiful. So you went out there with Patchy. I mean, that game plan you had too, ripping those straights to the body, switching your stance, being super, like, athletic. Probably the similar plan that you were going to have with Chito, but was it surprising you how easy you were hitting him?
A little bit, you know, but at the whole time, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, he's going to shoot. He's going to shoot eventually. I'm dotting him up. He's going to shoot. And it just never came. But yeah, I was like a little surprised, yes and no, because at the same time, I looked at his fights and no one ever really moved like that. They stayed in front of him, you know? So
you were getting to him early. I mean,
I found my timing right away.
Well, every time he hit him, it looked like he was sucking on a turd. Boom.
Yeah,
I loved that so much. I really did.
People are like, man, why did Patchy just look like that? I'm like, bro, Mario made him look like that with his footwork, not being in one spot, going side to side, attacking to the guts. Like, that was Patchy showing up, and Mario just made him fucking look bad.
For sure.
A huge fucking win, dude. 20-1. That guy's been champion all over, and I mean, fuck, he's a nice guy, but you made him look bad.
Yeah.
Made him look bad.
He's beating a lot of good people, you know, Horiguchi, Pettis, Stotts, you know, with that knee.
Yep.
So there's some things you have to worry about him striking too. Those knees come up quick.
He's long.
He started throwing the 3-2 a little bit, a couple times at the end. But dude, your focus for that fight was just fucking on par. A couple of times when you were landing those right hands, I'm like, fuck, if he sits on those a little harder, he might put him away.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, it was just like, I wanted to get in there and throw some hooks like while I was on the inside, but I was just more worried about my ribs. So everything was just straight down the middle. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 to the body. But yeah, it was just like a little thing in the back of my head, probably subconsciously, you know, don't do anything crazy. But
so now we're climbing. One of the videos I love is back in the day when you were calling out you were calling out Henry Cejudo at the LFA fight. And that was just a fucking great call out. And now you've moved ahead of him in the rankings. So is that a fight that interests you, or what kind of fight interests you now? What do you really want?
I want to move forward. You know, I think a fight with Henry would be fun, you know, just like to beat him up and everything. But I don't know if it does anything for me, you know. But I don't know. I want to go forward, hopefully into the top 5. I was like talking about Umar because like a win over Umar, they can't deny me. You know, they can't, and that would be 9-fight win streak. So, yeah, and I think it'd be a pretty good challenge. You know, great fight.
And would you be interested in a 5-rounder?
Yeah, hopefully a 5-rounder. You know, I think that's the next step.
Because your cardio is one of your weapons.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, if I had 2 more rounds with Patchy, that I would have been able to do that easy. If the way that fight was going, yeah,
at that pace.
Did he touch you at all? Did he get your chin?
He got me with one good one at the end of the 3rd round with that 3-2.
Yep.
And then I think that's the one that split my lip a little bit, but that was pretty much it.
Sure.
So we got Marcus McGee taking on number 3 now, Peter, and it's a 3-rounder, I believe. 3-round fight, Peter Yan versus Marcus, which is a fucking sick opportunity for Marcus, dude. Flying all the way to Abu Dhabi. I'm hoping Marcus goes out there early enough, though. Goes out there 2 weeks before.
What would you suggest?
2 weeks at least, dude. We went out there 3 weeks, and thank God we did. Because if you go out there when the UFC brings you out, fuck, it's gonna be hard to
Just
acclimate.
on the Tuesdays, that what they could bring you out?
Yeah.
They don't bring it out anymore, even with the time change like that?
It might be 6 days, 6 days. But hopefully we can talk Marcus into doing that. We'll probably have him on the show soon. Other than that, Song Yadong, an option. They're making it seem like Cory Sandhagen for sure has the shot in December. We've got Davison Figueiredo. And there's still the option for Chito.
Yeah.
Is that another one you'd like?
Yeah, I like the Chito fight. The thing is, like, is he going to be reliable, you know?
That's the first time he's pulled out, I think.
Well.
Or is it?
No, because we were supposed to fight, I think, in April, and then they got pushed back to May 3rd because he needed a couple more weeks because he had like a little injury or something. So it got moved to May 3rd, and then not his fault. The UFC moved it from the 3rd to the 7th, and then he ends up getting hurt. So, but yeah, I still like that fight. Yeah, I like it, and I think it just brings more attention. It would be a big fight.
Yeah, it would be a big fight, and that would move you up to number 7. Number 7, which would be badass. So you got your 2 babies now, right?
One.
I thought you had another one.
No, just one.
One. How old is she now?
She's 6.
6 years old. Do you have her any jiu-jitsu or anything yet?
We tried jiu-jitsu, but every time she'd leave class, she'd just be a little upset. But right now, she's in gymnastics and she loves it.
Nice.
You know, she's in level 3, whatever that means.
How often does she go?
Twice a week for 3 hours.
Dude, it's spendy.
Yeah,
It is. How much is it?
I think it's $200 a month.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And it's right here on Olive, this one?
Yeah, it's I forget, flame gymnastics or
fuck?
something.
Yeah, Flames.
Yeah.
wait,
But
3 hours each time she goes?
yeah, so it'll be Tuesday and Thursday, 3 hours from 4 to 7, which I think is crazy. Like, I don't even train for 3 hours straight.
Hell yeah.
It's all it's fun for the kids, though, right?
Yeah, no, she loves it. I love seeing her, like, you know, do these moves and stuff, like get coordinated.
Yeah.
So, and I could kind of help her, you know, because I do jiu-jitsu and I kind of know how to move your body. So if she's like struggling with certain things, I'm able to help her. So It's cool. She loves gymnastics.
So what kind of things are you doing with your paydays these days? Are you investing or just letting it sit there and taking a peek at it every morning?
Bitcoin?
That's what I need to do.
Oh, shit.
Just putting it into retirement and everything and just saving it up. I think.
Who's helped you with that kind of stuff, like retirements?
So Jason, my manager, they have like an accountant guy. So I think he's from out of California, and he's been setting me up with all these guys to kind of, you know, get myself paid out of my, you know, my paychecks, you know, the right way, and then putting it into retirement, and then just saving it. You know, I think I want to move back up to my hometown and open up a gym up there. And
When's that? Where's that at?
Northern Nevada.
When you're looking doing that, like in Still Trans Lab?
Probably get the title first.
Yeah, whenever I'm done. I think,
When you're done, okay.
Yeah, when I'm done, so I can kind of fully focus on that because it's hard for me.
Dude.
It's hard for me to split up my time. Like that
Anybody,
and
I mean, if
focus on a couple things.
Jeremy Horn always told me if you're going to train yourself and coach, one's going to be effective, and it's usually you're training yourself. So I mean, yeah, it's fucking hard to do both.
You got to be all in one or the other.
For sure.
Yeah.
It would be way too hard to run a gym, but you'll do a great job because is there an MMA gym there right now?
No, it's just there's a few jiu-jitsu gyms here and there, but
What's the population?
I think it's like between 10 and 15,000.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of so there's a mining community up there, and I know they all make really good money. Everything, you know, they work, you know, night shift, day shift. So I think they'll be able to make it for sure.
So is your girl still working?
Yeah.
Is
she was able. So she worked at the credit union. Mm-hmm. So and then she took, I want to say like 6 months off. You know, just hung out at home, And then now she works at EO. She wanted to be a fitness trainer, so she was able to transition to that, and she's loving it right
Sweet.
now. So.
How much you walking around at now? Kind of like out of camp. What's the heaviest you get?
Dude, I don't get too heavy. I flatten out like at 155, and I walk into the cage at 53. So,
Perfect.
Yeah, so I never get too heavy. I think like the heaviest I got was when I tore my pec, sitting around doing nothing. I got to like 162.
Really?
So that
Good
was
for you.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
So what kind of stuff you doing when on your chill time? You and your girl watch some shows, or what do you do?
Yeah, some shows.
What kind of shows? 90 Day?
Nothing wrong with that, man.
What was the last thing I watched? I don't know. I think I got through Breaking Bad. I'm rewatching it.
Oh, Breaking
We love
Bad's
The
so
Office. I went back through Narcos again. Then I'm gonna start Landman. I don't know if you.
Never heard of that?
I've heard.
What's that?
No, that one's good. I started that one.
What's it about?
I think some oil drilling, like in Texas or something, right?
Really?
Yeah. So it seemed pretty interesting to me.
So you've been doing the herb much, or no, off the herb completely?
No, I'm back on now.
Are you?
Back on the pipe.
And when do you do it? In the night before training? When do you do it?
Right now, usually at night. I kind of wait till I get home and I'm like just chill. Everything's done for the day, and then I'll smoke. But I mean, throughout training camp and everything, I'll just do edibles and stuff. But definitely smoking, I'll stop like 8 weeks out or something like that.
And you just straight up hit the pipey?
Little joints, little jeters.
Does it affect your lungs when you smoke?
I think so. I don't know. I just don't like to do it during camp.
More
Like,
mental than anything? That's always for me. I don't like
I mean, I feel better when I stop smoking.
really.
You know.
For fucking Jakar looked like a different guy last week, not smoking.
I know, dude. I know. If you abuse it, it is not fucking good.
Yeah,
I
right.
was chat GPTing it this morning if it affects fertility.
Of course.
'Cause Mariah and I, last month was the first month we really tracked ovulation. We really tried. So this next month, hopefully something lands.
Who's the weak link?
It could be me. I mean,
It is you, Tim.
and maybe I got to go in there and like take my sperm and just get it up there far enough. Maybe. Oh my God, unfortunately.
How long does it take for that to start to come back after getting off the weed?
No, they said if you do low heats and you don't do it all day consistently, it won't really affect
Oh,
you.
really? Okay.
But if you're doing heavy smoking, it can for sure affect like the cardio of the sperm.
Really?
Or I don't know if the cardio, but the longevity of how
Yeah.
long it can swim.
They can live up there for 5 days.
Well, that's what they're saying. We're trying to, this month, hopefully she lands.
Fucking all God willing, my friend.
A little fucking red Welch. I mean, when the car's bringing in his babies, it's like, oh my God, it's a good
Sure.
time.
Men have a little biological clock too. You know, sometimes it's you don't want to be an old man fucking trying to throw a ball and your arm falls out of socket.
Yeah.
No one wants that shit.
Yeah, for
That'd be
sure.
Cool. You're trying.
Yeah, we just pretty much last month when we were really starting to try. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Man, that's gonna be awesome.
You guys
It's just like a
fulfill your life. It would make your life even better for sure.
next
man.
chapter for sure. Yeah.
So now what kind of, you don't have your full-time job, so now you got your routine. So you're going in the morning, training, going home, resting, and then just training again, keeping it simple.
Yeah, just pretty much the 2 days, Monday through Thursday. Yeah, strength training, jiu-jitsu or mitts in the morning, then pro practice in the evening, and then strength training on Friday, sparring on Saturday. That's pretty much it.
Who do we have from the lab that's going to be a real, besides Ezra? I mean, we know Ezra's going to be a fucking star, but who's some other guys that are up and coming that people don't really know a ton about?
Vinny?
On too.
Yeah.
On he got cracked on the last Contenders, but I think he's getting another shot at Contenders this year, and he's a motherfucker.
He's got some firepower.
I guess he's got another really tough fight on Contender Series. Hopefully it's
who?
I don't know. I don't remember the name of
I
the
think
guy.
the kid's from like Brazil or something, or he's Brazilian.
Really?
I believe so.
Fuck it. He fought a motherfucker last time too, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's getting some tough fights for the Contender Series, but I'm trying to think who else is kind of really popping in.
Vinny Diaz is super good.
Not much.
You got On, and then you got Chance EK.
Yeah.
125er, right?
25er.
Abdul's got to be getting close.
Fuck man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting there.
He had a loss recently, right? That kinda
Yeah, he
took him
lost to
back.
Eric Shelton, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Like two fights ago, whatever. And so I think he's trying to bounce back from that. But I mean, hopefully, you know.
And I'm curious what happens with Bryce Meredith. Bryce Meredith, 2-time NCAA finalist, I think 3-time All-American, and I'm curious what happens with him. Is he going to get a Contender Series fight? Is he going to go back to PFL? I think he's got a bunch of different options, but I'm
What's
curious
his
to see how that goes.
Yeah,
I think
he's not with the PFL right
6-0,
now, right?
I think.
Is he really? Is he still in a contract with them or no?
I'm not sure.
No, I think they bought him out of that
Getting
contract.
snipped?
Yep,
They bought him out or snipped him?
bought him out.
Really?
Yeah. which
That's
is
a
cool.
win.
Yeah, I mean, why would they snip him? He's undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, like Mike, they didn't sign Mike. Mike's not undefeated, but yeah, that's good for him, man.
Yeah, maybe one more win on like a local show or something, and maybe contenders, or maybe just like a call up to the UFC or something. But yeah, he's right there, 6-0.
God, it's just been so fucking fun just watching like you, Kyler, Marcus, Suge, just start from being amateurs,
Kids,
and growing all the way and just fighting with the elite people and coming to some of the main guys in the UFC. It's pretty fucking awesome, dude. Yeah. And it's just consistency for literally 13 years.
Fuck yeah, and I love to see what it's turned out to be for him. It just shows everybody consistency is fucking everything in life.
13 years though, dude. That's a
nuts.
long grind to get
Fuck
where you're
yeah,
at.
dude. That is a long fucking way. How old were you when you started at the lab?
I think 20. I think Kyler was 18. Suge was 19 when we all kind of showed up there.
Yep.
Shit.
Young bucks.
Just getting like mauled.
Yep.
How about Marcus when he was
Marcus
dragged
McGee,
from LA boxing?
he was at the LA boxing back in the day. That was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, well, he was coming from that apartment right across the street, just jacked, training his ass off in LA boxing like it was fucking like he was training for a pro fight.
Dude,
and then
he's another one. A full family, working hard and staying in the gym. So you guys out there can do it. You can work a job and then go and train. It's just gonna take you not being a fucking stoner and being lazy as hell.
that's true.
So what kind of kept you with it the whole time, Mario?
Coaches.
And just loving it?
Yeah, just loving it for sure. Oh, you have to, you know. So definitely after I, got done with a fight, man, like my favorite thing was just to go back to training, not have to think about a fight coming up or anything. I just focus on getting better.
That's when you improve.
Yeah, and that's one thing I loved.
Yeah, you were always good about that. And I try to explain that. It's like you cannot improve your skills when you're getting ready for a fight. That's not the time to improve your skills.
No, that's the time to kind of like sharpen everything up and get in shape and, game plan and
Get some new tools.
Yeah, that's kind of a newer thing. Like guys like Matt Hughes would only come in when he had a fight. He had a fight to get ready for. So his projection of how good he got only got to a certain level because he just stopped improving, just kind of working on his skill. I mean, a lot of people did that back in the day, myself included.
Is there, when you usually go out to eat, where do you guys usually go?
There's a little sushi spot, that El Tataki. It's on 107th and Indian School. That place is pretty good.
Is it good?
It's really good.
What is it, like a Mexican sushi?
Yeah, there's like real sushi there, but then like they have like the fried stuff, like
Mexican, like tempura, is that what it's called?
yeah, it's fried.
Is it,
yeah, so
it's
like
Mexican sushi? That's what
No,
that is?
they have like a carne asada roll. Oh, dude, it's so good.
Damn,
And-
I got to try that.
Yeah, try it out. It's a little pricey, but
Is it?
It's pretty good. Nice setup in there, dude. It kind of reminds me of like this, like the artwork they have in there. They have like a samurai and an Aztec warrior, like a dragon, like going around the place. It's pretty sick.
Have you tried that Eric's barbecue on there in Indian School?
Eric barbecue.
Indian School, I think it's like 130th.
Eric's
Avenue.
barbecue?
Eric's Family Barbecue, dude. They grill up they slow cook all these different roasts. And
You're
all this
vouching for
different-
'em?
It's good.
Really?
Yes.
I'll give it a whirl.
Yep, you'll have to.
I do like barbecue.
Yes. But boys and girls, that was a hell of a show. Make sure you follow Mario Bautista's journey on Instagram. What's your Instagram again, Mario?
Mario Bautista MMA. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
And Joe Diesel Riggs is on the Snapchat. You've been doing good. You've been posting 2 or 3 a day. Now let's up that
I don't know.
by 20 or 30.
Do you do 20 or 30 a day?
I try to do 30 to 40 a day.
Really?
To make any money, it's like you got to grind on that thing.
Fuck it. I do see you fucking taking fucking fat pictures on there. Those fucking different filters fucking are great.
The bald one.
Dude, if you're fucking, you can tell you're redheaded because of the beard, but your fucking hair betrays you, good night. You're fucking done. You have to shave it like that.
I mean, what do you do? Do you go to Turkey?
Well, now fucking Randy's hair plugs look fucking nice.
Well, even Taquino, he did it too, and he's fucking looking full head of hair. But the thing is about that, you have to take a whole month off, and you got to go out there, and sure as hell I ain't trading for no posts. That's one thing for sure. So if I do it, if I leave for a month, you guys will probably know why.
Well, fuck, I mean,
Secrecy.
it's changed so much what it was like 10 years ago. It looked like each individual hair was plugged in and ass hair was stuck into it. It looked terrible.
Taquino said you cannot sweat one bit for like 3 weeks after that, and you have to sleep sitting up for like a couple days.
I would just sneak in and
dude.
fucking rub your hair out.
Oh, God. I'm just praying she holds on.
But you're holding on. You're doing good, man. You forget we're all getting older.
Yes, and I wonder when your time's coming.
Never.
It could be.
God's plagued me with such a fucked up head. If he takes my hair, just fucking, I'll just finish it right
Well,
there.
it's starting to look like a little 50 cent piece.
Oh my God, silver dollar.
Silver dollar back
A little
there.
pancake starting to a brew.
Yeah, Mario, your hairline's sitting there good.
Greek God like.
Dude, yep. Luckily, my parents, like, they still have full head of hair and everything.
It's your mother's father. That's where it comes from.
Well, fuck. They're all making fun of Cody No Love, and you thought that picture was real, huh?
Dude, yeah, I was
not
dying.
real.
No. The one that I put up?
No, the bowling. That's not real.
Oh, I know.
Dude, I was looking at those braids though, dude. They were holding on by like a thread.
What do you mean?
Dude, there was like, it was gapped. So
Really?
I'm like, bro, there's nothing to braid.
You need paint some fake braids in there in between.
But the fact you have the opportunity to go to Turkey if needed.
If you're baldness used to be a fucking end game, it'd be fuck.
End game?
Yeah, you can fucking revive yourself. Come
can.
out with new hair plugs. Fuck.
Rogaine.
Rogaine. I've seen guys struggle with Rogaine. You go into their bathroom and you see a bottle of Rogaine covered in loose hair.
Yeah.
You know they're just fucking having a hard time. Yeah, but turkey's a good. I mean, honestly, the only thing I've seen is Randy. I mean, and it looks good.
And it's flowing.
Yeah, it is.
Thick.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's fucking. You gotta give credit where credit due. They probably went to the same place, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, holy shit. I hope not. But it could be.
There's only one place to go.
It could be. But ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed that show. Hit that like and subscribe button and comment your thoughts below. And thanks for watching. Also, I just had my merch store just dropped, timbomerch.com. You can get Red Hawk Recap stuff. You can get Red Hawk Academy stuff. And then where can we get these? It's a great day for a dust up.
I didn't even look. You just fucking.
It's a great day for a dust up. You can't buy them, so you'll have to come to Phoenix.
Watch me wear it.
Yes. There we go. Okay, boys and girls. We'll talk to you next week. Love you all. Bye-bye.